Everyone remembers Penny, the bubbly, lovable neighbor from The Big Bang Theory who stole everyone's hearts with her charm, humor, and warmth. For over a decade, Kaley Cuoco brought that character to life, making millions laugh and turning herself into one of television's most recognizable faces. But behind the laughter, fame, and success lies a far more emotional and heartbreaking story that few truly know. When The Big Bang Theory ended, fans assumed Kaley Cuoco's life was as perfect as Penny's fairy tale ending. Yet, as the cameras stopped rolling, the truth began to unfold, a truth filled with pain, loss, and personal struggle. From public heartbreaks and failed marriages to deep battles with loneliness and anxiety, Kaley's journey since the show ended has been far from easy. Fame, as it turns out, didn't protect her from heartbreak. Despite her million-dollar paychecks and Hollywood lifestyle, Kaley found herself searching for peace and meaning in a world that often felt painfully empty. "It looked like I had everything," she once admitted. "But inside, I was struggling. And yet, through it all, Cuoco has shown incredible strength, rebuilding her life, piece by piece, learning to heal, and proving that resilience is just as beautiful as success. Her story today is one of transformation, from laughter to tears, from heartbreak to hope. This is the untold story of Kaley Cuoco, the woman behind Penny, and how fame, loss, and love shaped her in ways more heartbreaking and inspiring than anyone ever imagined. Long before she became Penny, the heart of The Big Bang Theory, Kaley Cuoco was just a bright-eyed California girl chasing a dream. Born in 1985, she began acting almost before she could read, appearing in commercials and guest roles on shows like Seventh Heaven and My So-Called Life. Her parents encouraged her passion, but no one could have predicted the massive fame that awaited her. By the time she was a teenager, Kaley had already made her mark in Hollywood with the sitcom 8 Simple Rules. Her infectious energy, comic timing, and natural charisma made her a standout, even among seasoned stars. But when The Big Bang Theory premiered in 2007, her life changed forever as Penny, the aspiring actress and waitress from Nebraska who moves in next door to two socially awkward scientists. Kaley became the emotional center of the show. Fans connected instantly to her warmth and authenticity. She wasn't just the pretty girl next door. She was the heart that balanced the intellect and eccentricity of Sheldon, Leonard, and the rest of the gang, off-camera. Kaley and her co-stars formed a tight-knit family. "We were together almost every day for over a decade," she said in an interview. "They became my real-life brothers." Her on-screen chemistry with Johnny Galecki turned into a real-life romance, though the two kept their relationship secret for nearly 2 years. When they eventually split, they handled it with grace and professionalism, a rare thing in Hollywood. But as The Big Bang Theory became a global phenomenon, the pressure mounted. Kaley went from being a promising young actress to one of the highest-paid stars in television history, earning $1 million per episode at the show's peak. Fame brought success, luxury, and recognition, but also scrutiny, exhaustion, and loneliness. Behind the glamour, Kaley struggled to keep her personal life together. Her marriage to tennis player Ryan Sweeting in 2013 seemed like a dream at first, a whirlwind romance that captured the media's attention. But within 2 years, it all crumbled. "It was rough," she later revealed. "I thought I had found forever, but it wasn't meant to be." She threw herself into work to cope, hiding her pain behind laughter and smiles on set. Her co-stars, who knew her best, said she carried herself with strength, never letting the cracks show. Yet when the show finally ended in 2019, Kaley faced a new kind of emptiness, one that no amount of success could fill. "The Big Bang Theory was more than a job," she admitted tearfully. "It was a family. When it ended, it felt like I lost a part of myself." The cameras stopped rolling, the studio lights went dark, and suddenly, Kaley Cuoco was left with silence. For the first time in over a decade, she had to figure out who she was without Penny, and without the constant presence of the people who had been her world for 12 years. Little did she know, her next chapter would test her strength more than ever before. When The Big Bang Theory ended in 2019, Kaley Cuoco was at the peak of her career, adored by millions. celebrated in Hollywood, and financially set for life. But the moment the final episode aired, something inside her shifted. For the first time since her teenage years, there were no scripts waiting, no audience laughter, and no penny to hide behind. The silence was deafening. Kaylee admitted later that she fell into a deep emotional fog after the show's finale. "I cried for weeks," she said. "I felt lost. The show had been my life for 12 years. It wasn't just a job, it was my identity." The sudden emptiness left her struggling to rediscover herself in a world where everyone still saw her as Penny. While fans imagined she'd take a well-deserved break, Kaylee threw herself into work again, trying to outrun the feelings of loss and uncertainty. She launched her own production company, Yes, Norman Productions, and began developing new projects, including The Flight Attendant, a dark, emotional thriller that allowed her to explore sides of herself she'd never shown before. Ironically, the story of a woman spiraling after tragedy mirrored much of what Kaylee was feeling in real life. Behind the success, though, her personal life continued to unravel. Her whirlwind second marriage to equestrian Carl Cook began with joy and laughter, but even that began to fade. The couple, though loving, lived apart for long stretches due to work and travel. By 2021, Kaylee announced another painful divorce. "We still love and respect each other deeply," she shared on social media, "but we've realized our paths are different." For the world, it was another Hollywood breakup. For Kaylee, it was yet another heartbreak that left her questioning everything: fame, love, and what happily ever after really meant. Friends say she struggled in silence, smiling for cameras while privately battling anxiety and exhaustion. "She's strong," one insider revealed, "but she carries a lot of pain under that happy energy." In interviews, Kaylee opened up about her mental health for the first time, admitting that she'd sought therapy and taken time away from the spotlight to heal. But out of the darkness came light. The Flight Attendant became a massive success, earning Kaylee her first Emmy nomination, proof that she was more than just a sitcom star. Still, the award wasn't what mattered most to her. What mattered was the sense of rediscovery. "For the first time in years, I felt proud of myself," she said. "Not as Penny, not as someone's wife. Just as me." Kaylee also began to focus on what truly brought her peace: animals. Her passion for rescuing dogs and horses gave her a renewed sense of purpose. "They saved me," she often said. "When I felt alone, they gave me unconditional love." Slowly, she began to rebuild, stronger, wiser, and more grounded than ever. Yet even as she moved forward, the shadow of her past lingered. Fame had given her everything, and taken just as much away. In many ways, Kaylee Cuoco's story is one of contrasts: laughter and tears, fame and loneliness, success and heartbreak. But as she began to reclaim her happiness, she discovered something even more powerful: that true strength isn't in pretending everything's perfect, but in surviving when it's not. As 2022 began, Kaylee Cuoco's life seemed to be at a crossroads. After years of heartbreak, exhaustion, and emotional turmoil, she made a promise to herself: to stop searching for perfect and start embracing real. For the first time in years, she stepped away from work and began to focus on her own happiness. What followed was one of the most transformative periods of her life. Her healing began quietly. Kaylee threw herself into her passions: animal rescue, horseback riding, and producing meaningful projects. Away from the spotlight, she began to rebuild her sense of peace. "I realized I didn't need to fill my life with noise anymore," she said. "I just needed to listen to myself." Then, something unexpected happened. Love found her again. While filming Meet Cute, alongside actor Tom Pelphrey, known for his role in Ozark, Kaylee met someone who understood her pain and her past. "It was like lightning," she later recalled. "I wasn't looking for love, but suddenly, it was right in front of me." Their connection was instant, raw, honest, and unforced. For the first time, Kaylee found a partner who saw her not as a celebrity, but as a woman who had been through storms and still chose to shine. "Tom makes me feel safe," she said in an interview. "He's the calm I've been searching for my whole life." In 2023, the couple announced even more joyful news. They were expecting their first child. After years of heartbreak, Kaylee was about to step into a new role, motherhood. The birth of her daughter, Matilda, became a symbol of hope and healing. "She's my little miracle," Kaylee said tearfully. "Everything I went through led me to her." But even with happiness, Kaylee never hid the scars of her past. She remained open about her struggles with mental health, emphasizing that healing is not a straight line. "There are days I still feel broken," she admitted. "But then I look at my daughter, and I remember why I kept fighting." Fans, who had grown up watching her as Penny, now saw a different Kaylee, one who had weathered loss, heartbreak, and disappointment, yet found strength in vulnerability. She wasn't the same smiling sitcom star anymore. She was something deeper, a woman who had lived through pain and chosen love anyway. Professionally, Kaylee's transformation reflected in her work. She began producing projects that celebrated resilience and real emotion rather than perfection. Critics praised her for her maturity and range, calling her Hollywood's comeback queen. Yet Kaylee shrugged off the labels. "I'm not trying to come back," she laughed. "I'm just trying to live." Through love, motherhood, and self-acceptance, Kaylee Cuoco rediscovered the joy she once thought was lost. She learned that true fulfillment doesn't come from fame or fortune. It comes from peace, purpose, and people who love you for who you are. Today, when fans ask her about Penny, she smiles softly. "Penny will always be part of me," she says. But Kaylee, the woman, the mother, the survivor, she's who I am now. Her journey has been long, messy, and at times heartbreaking, but it's also been profoundly human. As Kaylee Cuoco steps into her late 30s, her story has come full circle, from the bright, wide-eyed girl chasing fame to a woman who's learned that true success isn't about money or awards, but about peace and purpose. Looking back, she admits that her journey was both beautiful and brutal, a mix of dazzling highs and heartbreaking lows that ultimately made her who she is today. "I've lived a life that feels like 10 different stories in one," she said in a recent interview. "Some of it was amazing, some of it was painful, but all of it taught me something." When fans think of Kaylee Cuoco, they remember the laughter, Penny's sarcastic humor, her infectious smile, her effortless warmth. But what most people don't see is the woman behind that laughter, one who has known deep grief, public heartbreak, and the pressure of perfection in a world that constantly demands it. After losing herself in fame and rediscovering her voice through heartbreak and motherhood, Kaylee has become an inspiration to many who followed her story. She often says she doesn't want her legacy to be just about the Big Bang Theory, but about resilience. "I want people to remember that it's okay to fall apart," she once shared. "What matters is that you get back up, again and again." Her relationship with Tom Pelphrey and their daughter Matilda has grounded her in ways fame never could. The chaotic Hollywood world that once consumed her no longer defines her. "My family is my safe place now," she said. "It's where I find joy, even on the hardest days." Kaylee has also used her platform for good, advocating for mental health awareness, animal rights, and women's empowerment in the entertainment industry. She's become a voice for authenticity in a culture obsessed with perfection. "There's power in being honest about your pain," she said. It helps others know they're not alone. Despite her enormous success, Kaylee remains humble and self-aware. She knows that the fame that once felt like everything is fleeting. "Hollywood is temporary," she says. "But kindness, love, and laughter, those last forever." Every now and then, she rewatches clips of The Big Bang Theory. The laughter still makes her smile, but now it carries a deeper meaning. "That show saved me," she admits. "It gave me a family when I didn't have one. It gave me confidence when I doubted myself. It was a gift." And though she's moved far beyond Penny's apartment, Kaylee Cuoco continues to embody the same warmth that made millions love her. She's still the girl next door, just older, wiser, and far more real. Her fans have grown up with her, watched her fall and rise again, and through her honesty, they've seen that even those who seem to have it all are still human, still searching for love, balance, and peace. Kaylee's story isn't just one of tragedy or triumph. It's a story about life itself, messy, unpredictable, but endlessly worth living. As she looks toward the future, she does so with gratitude. "I've had heartbreaks and miracles," she says, "but I wouldn't change a thing. Every moment brought me here, to my daughter, to my peace, to my truth." And with that, the woman once known as Penny, the face of laughter, stands as a living testament to resilience, love, and the quiet beauty of starting over.